simple bridge that connects Nepal to China, but the difference is mind-blowing. Crossing into Tibet felt like crossing into the future. For a region tucked deep into the mountains, it is exceptionally developed. The roads are smooth and well signed from the moment you cross the bridge, barely 100 meters from the immigration office. After answering the customs officer honestly and impressing them with the scale of the Kylaq challenge, we entered the lovely town of Girong. The old Chinese architecture, plenty of red all around, and signboards we couldn't quite read were early signs that we really were in a different country. Nepal had shared plenty with India, the cars, the food, the roads, but China felt entirely its own. Here Rahul took the reins of the Kylaq while I went into the Kodiak with the crew. We saved our energy with some light sprawling in Girong and some piping hot Tibetan lunch, since the drive to the North Base Camp was going to be long and tiring.
Wake up, sleepyhead. We're 75 kilometers into the journey. I think it's time to wake up, take in the sights.
Oh God, your songs are what putting me to sleep.
Dude, classic rock on these kind of highways, you can't go wrong.
It's not classic rock. It's some very soft jazz at best. How long till we reach?
6 hours. We got a long way to go.
Well, we're on our way to EBC now. We've left Girong town and he's fogged the driver's seat again. And the temperature, I mean, it's showing what, 10 times?
Yeah, it was
comfortable.
It was 8 like a few minutes ago. It's gone up to 12. It keeps fluctuating quite a bit, but we are climbing again, so it's gonna drop again.
Okay, well, on that note, I'm gonna drop again as well.
Rahul though was much more energetic.
So we finally crossed into Tibet, and what an experience it has been. Of course, it was time consuming at the border because there were so many formalities, so much paperwork, especially when you're traveling with so many people and luggage. It's understandable that you have to do all of that. But now all of that is done and now we're on the road, and boy, what a difference it is compared to India. The landscape has changed completely, the temperatures have dropped drastically, and the roads are just fantastic. They're smooth surfaced, very well marked, and people follow the rules to the T. One thing which I find a little irritating though is the speed limits here, which are very, very low. Some places down to 30 kilometers per hour. Can be a little painful, but it's okay. We're in a different country. We'll just follow the rules.
Following the rules, well, at least for the most part, we reached the small town of Sasizong, from where we would be heading to Everest Base Camp the next morning. But today is a very special day. Temperatures are sub-zero and we are on our way to the Everest Base Camp. Always a very special feeling when you reach there, but a lot of prep needed before. Of course, everyone is insulated in their puffer jackets. You've got a basic breakfast so that you don't faint on your way there. A lot of water, you need to stay hydrated as you get up. And then you have something like this in cases of emergency. These are oxygen cans. Because of high elevation, sometimes you do struggle to breathe. And this is the bus that is going to take us there. We are not going to be going by car because the road there is a bit tricky. So everyone goes in a bus. And I think that's good because it just gives you a chance, or gives me a chance to explore, take some good pictures. I've been driving or sitting in the passenger seat sleeping, So today is going to be a very exciting day. It takes an hour roughly to reach base camp, and yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we get a clear sky and we can see the peak. So fingers crossed.
The bus drive was more of a nap, but closer to Everest, you do start seeing the peak, quite literally peeking through the hills. It's strange how you lose your breath as you approach Everest. Partly the thin air and the altitude, but you'd lose it all the same just from the view. Words don't do it justice, and don't be surprised if you shed a tear or two. It is that overwhelming.
Well, this has to be one of the milestones on the epic Škoda Kylaq P2P drive. I mean, we're in Tibet, we have to come and pay respects to Mount Everest. Now, this is not my first time, in fact, it's my second time, but let me tell you, it is just as special. The absolute misery that you have to endure to get here is totally worth it once you set your eyes on the peak. Today is a clear day, we're very fortunate to have that, and you can see the peak in all its glory. Well, I'm just gonna soak everything all in, take some great pictures since this is a rarity, and then head over to Shigati, which is going to be our next stop.
No matter how many times you set your eyes on it, the mighty Everest always humbles you. Even a drive of this scale seems almost tiny in front of the white peak. However, the calm and slow pace was disrupted by the road to Shigati, which was Candyland for those who like twisties, aka Rahul.
So today we started our day on a very good note by witnessing the Mount Everest up close at the Everest Base Camp, and now the drive is even more fantastic with the views of the Everest in every direction, because we keep turning left and right on the twisties and you keep seeing the Everest peak on your right or your left, which is absolutely stunning. But I must say the Kylaq today is feeling a little tired. Climbing these steep inclines, it's struggling a bit, but I've got this manual mode. I just slot it into manual, downshift, and that sorts it out. Here we go.
The air was thin and constant hydration was crucial. Roughly 300 kilometers later, we made it to Shigati, which was the first major city in China. The next day, before we headed to Lassa, we headed for what is non-negotiable if you want to travel in China.
Well, we are in Shigati right now on our way to Lassa, but the first thing we have to do before driving around in Tibet is this: get on a temporary number plate and of course a temporary driving license as well. What you see behind me is the equivalent of our RTO. Pretty straightforward process. You submit your documents, your passport, and you get these. These are what allow you to drive into China and in Tibet as well. So pretty important. Now it's all about putting these onto the dashboard so that the cops can see them and know that we are legally allowed to drive here. And yeah, be careful of the rules and regulations.
With the plates in place, we headed towards Lassa. It is clear that they love their roads in China, but what they love even more are cameras. A gantry setup every 50 meters is almost hilarious at first, but that's just how serious they are about surveillance. You can hold good speed, but nudge the limit even briefly, and you'll see the flash go off with an image sharp enough to print in the latest issue of Autocar India. We didn't want that, so we behaved, and that was also good for efficiency.
Well, we are in Shigati right now, heading over to Lassa. Just stopped for a quick top up at a fuel pump, and the price of fuel in Tibet is not too different from Nepal. It's 9.87 yuan per litre, which translates to about 136 rupees per litre when you compare to India. Of course, it's more in India, but when you compare to Nepal, is it going to change later? We'll find that out soon.
The plain Jane highways though weren't exactly fun, so Rahul of course had to take the long way home.
And today we're driving from Shigati to Lassa, and although there's a straightforward expressway that takes you there in under 3 hours, of course we've taken a much longer route, and you can see why. These are some of the most stunning roads that you can drive on in Tibet that hugs and skirts the Yamdok Yumtso Lake. And now I can't wait to get to Lassa and explore the Potala Palace. Let's go.
The views admittedly were a lot better than a highway barrier, and it was surprising to see no paparazzi level of cameras here. This meant we could enjoy the drive and let the engine purr after all the heaving at high altitudes. Lassa is the spiritual capital of Tibet and is also known as the place of the gods. Sitting at almost 12,000 feet high, it is one of the highest cities in the world with many fantastic sights, but one that truly stands out.
But what you see behind me is the majestic Potala Palace. It is to Tibet what the Taj Mahal is to India or the pyramids are to Egypt. A very, very important historic and cultural monument. It has been home to Tibetan kings and lamas and is now a shrine for the locals. So you just cannot miss it. If you're in Lassa, Potala Palace is a must visit. It's over 1300 years old, has around 500 steps that I will now be climbing. It's a challenge, but I cannot wait to get up close and personal with this absolute piece of art. Alright, so just starting to climb the majestic Potala Palace, and this is step number 1. Long way to go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The counting only made it worse. It's just the beginning of the climb. I mean, this technically is my Everest. The air is thin, oxygen is low, so you have to save your breath. And just be careful, pace yourself, don't rush. Carry water, keep sipping water. And yeah, now these are some old steps, so you have to be extra careful over them. Wear good shoes, grippy shoes. And I'm just talking nonsense now to get through this. Step by step, huffing and puffing, we were getting to the top. I think this is about 151, 152, 53, 154. I think. What do you think?
175.
He's at
182.
Okay, the 182, closer to 500, I don't care. What helped were the breaks to find out about some interesting trivia about the palace, like the yak milk being poured over the walls to keep it white.
Like this shape.
What all you have? Milk?
White lime, sugar, honey, and milk. Yak milk.
Yak milk.
Yes.
So this is the wall which you can actually taste because it's been washed every year.
Yeah.
Every year it's been whitewashed using milk and the ingredients you just heard. I'm not going to try it today because I'm not in the mood. I just had my breakfast. But if you really are a daredevil, you can, photographer with me. You want to lick the wall? After about 200 steps, the wall looked more like a cake and I was tempted more than once to have a go at it. But the scenery broke the momentum. Step update. I hope 300, 302. This was never ending, so I mustered up all strength and reached the top, which was well worth the struggle. We've reached the top of the Potala Palace and it's been a breathless climb, mostly due to the thin air and the steep slopes and my lack of fitness, but it has been a surreal experience. Now inside is the monastery and the temple, which you can't really shoot, which I think is nice because you preserve the uniqueness of the place. But just looking at it from up close is just stunning. The walls, the windows, and just how well they've maintained it. Now I'm going to cut to some very cool B-roll shots that will do justice to this place. Walking through the rich history of the Lamas and what the Potala Palace was in its heyday is simply breathtaking. The preservation of rooms and artifacts from around 1,000 years ago is what truly transforms the experience, and walking through the same hallways as some of the greatest minds in the world did feel special. But Potala Palace isn't the only monument in Lhasa.
the Jokhang temple is equally, if not more important, being the holiest temple in Tibetan Buddhism. The architecture and vast history is what gives Tibet its unique identity. But now it was time for some grub and gaining back all those calories lost while climbing up. The plan then was to fill our stomachs and log off for some much needed shut-eye.
Well, it's been a fantastic 2 days in Lassa. We've explored the streets, of course, the mighty Potala Palace, but today we move on to Nachu. Now, the drive is not too long, mostly highways, but what's going to change is the elevation. Yet again, we are going to climb, and this time it's going to be over 15,000 feet. So yes, some oxygen issues, I think, for me. I hope the car does well. We are just getting it cleaned right now, getting them loaded as well. And let's see how they perform. It's going to be a smooth drive, but one that is definitely going to be scenic. The short drive to Nachu was simple and even somber at times, but we had no idea what was in store for the following days. Good morning from a freezing -3 degrees in Nachu. We are heading to Tangula town now, and it's pitch black because we've left quite early. The reason for that is our guide tells us it's going to be a long drive. It's about over 400 kilometers. Doesn't seem long, but the roads, as he mentions, are quite challenging. Hard to believe given the kind of roads we've been driving on for the past few days, but I will take his word for it. And because it is freezing, for the first time on this drive, I've had to engage the heated seat on the Kodiak. Don't really get it on the Kylaq, but I'm sure Rahul has the heater cranked up to max. And yeah, we're just gonna brace for what's up ahead and hope that we get some good snow. That is what we've been hearing. Some nice locations, some nice scenery, and that'll basically take the hit off the bad roads. I wish what I had said was true, because not only did the bad road hit, it hit hard. Once the sun came up, we got a good look at what we were up against. A stretch of trail that was next to an under construction highway, which meant we were down to crawling speeds. Through ditches, potholes the size of craters, and even wading water in some instances, kilometer after kilometer was absolute agony. The average speed was under 20 kph, and watching broken down trucks on the back of barely driving trucks didn't do much for our confidence. After 8 hours of nursing the cars, even we gave up and just powered through the misery, finally making it to our night halt. Well, this is the aftermath of a 400 odd kilometer drive that took, get this, 14 hours. It took 14 hours for us to do 400 kilometers, and well, these look like war wounds, but it has been an exceptionally challenging day, and one that I will never forget from my memory.
But there's also a silver lining. We've just clocked over 5,000 kilometers on this P2P drive, and what a way to do it. Such challenging conditions, cold weather, and the Kylaq has really been tested to the core. Even me, it tested my patience for 14 hours. It was insane.
Well, I'm sure I'm not doubting, but I don't know why you're testing me. It's cold, it's sub-zero, I need hot food and a warm room. Please, can we go inside? The next day was a continuation, as if the night halt just didn't happen. We were back on the same highway with the same broken back and the same broken zeal. Alright, an update on our trip. We have covered 177 kilometers out of 400 and whatever, and it has taken us 6 hours. I mean, that's an average speed of 30. It's like driving in Mumbai for over 6 hours. And when the guide said the road was going to be tough, I didn't doubt it, but I didn't think it would be this bad. This is absolutely atrocious. I mean, sure, the views are great. You have snow-capped mountains everywhere. But my God, this road is brutal. The tires, especially, I feel sorry because they're taking an absolute beating. And not only because they are not off-road tires, also because we are carrying quite a bit of luggage. The Kodiak has a roof box as well. But till now, fingers crossed, it's been good. No DPMS signs. I don't want to jinx it, but They've really championed through this road. We have a long way to go. I think we've not even covered halfway. And how's the back?
The back is breaking slowly and steadily.
It's gonna be a tough one and definitely one of the more memorable trips. As always, Rahul was all smiles and impressed with the Kylaq.
So today is one of the longest driving days on this journey so far. We've been on the road for over 12 hours and what a drive it has been. In the morning, it was really freezing cold, minus 11 degrees. Even now it's cold, but the most fun part, if I must say, is that there are absolutely no roads. For the most part, we've been driving on dirt roads like this. And today is the day that we've really put the Kylaq through real test. And I must say that the Kylaq has come up really strong. I'm very comfortable. There are 2 more hours to go to reach our destination. Hopefully, we'll make it there in real comfort.
We didn't share the same enthusiasm as Rahul, so after exhausting every playlist and podcast, we made it out of the abyss and finally into civilization. A drive that will be etched in our minds and our spine as well. The second part will see China in a different light to what we had seen before. The snow-clad mountains get replaced with concrete buildings and the food goes from simple fried rice and lemon tea to a carnivore's dream.